Chronicles, Morel Chronicles, Episode 1. So we're out in the woods of Montana harvesting morels, and I wanted to show you a little bit about harvesting them. So this one in my hand is a good specimen. No discoloration, no change in whiteness, like a brighter white around there, showing like a mold or something growing on it. This one is dried up, so I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it to repopulate the next generation. It may be all right. I mean, you just have to sometimes look at them and judge. See, a lot of these right here, actually, those are done for. There's a whole bunch. Boy, this has just been springing to life. Most of these I'm going to leave because they are dried up pretty good. But since you can dry morels, you can harvest them and dry them yourself, you know, you might look at them, and if they don't have any funny discoloration, if they still got the whiteness on the stem and everything, they still may be perfectly good. Look at these big ones over here. Those are nice size. I'm definitely going to check that one out. Those two look dry, but their stems don't look bad. I'm going to check them out. We got this nice big one right here. So I'm going to put down the one that I did pick. And I'm going to pick those, and we're going to have a look inside. There is a spider web built around that one. It's like a fairy house or a tiny micro gnome house in disguise because of the spider webs. So I'm looking inside of these, and none of these are showing bugginess or extreme whiteness. I mean, they're a little bit whiter on the inside, but they look good. They don't look discolored. They don't look brown and sickly. That one's got a little bit of color right there, but I think if I get it dried, I think it's still good. So that was a good harvest of those. I see two more over here. So what to look for, that orange spot right on the very tip, like I might go ahead and break that off, that dark spot in there. You know, break off the dirt from the root, which is not a true root because these are fungus. Fungus are mushrooms are the edible part of the mycelia. Yeah, I may break off all of that right there. And if it looks bad on the inside, I'll get rid of it. Let me check on that and come back. All right. So I tore off that and just kept this part. All those look good. That's what you end up leaving behind. So if you get to a spot and you have tons of these, and you see one or two morels, somebody else has already been there. Wait 3 or 4 days, and after a rain, and some more will probably come back out. Yeah, there's a lot of morels around here, but most of them came out a number of days ago and they're already dried up. Oh, here's some healthy ones. This is a great spot. Oh, look at those. They're gorgeous. These are exactly how you want to find them. If I can get in here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's one over there. 7. Here's one, but it's spent, and another one that's spent right there. I'm not going to pull up them, but these that I showed you just now, the first ones, these right here, they all look nice and healthy. So that's a really good spot as well. I'll bring you back in a bit when I find some more. Oh mama, look at that handful. These are the ones I just picked. And then, I don't know if they're going to be good or not, but just over this stump, or this tree trunk. If I can make it without dropping these. So the bigger one looks like it may be spent. I'll have to check it. looks almost too dried up. That one doesn't look bad. And then for size comparison, that thing's huge. Let me get right up next to it. So huge. So those are right there. Now look, there's one hiding. It's hiding just in the undergrowth. It's not growing straight up. So I got to give this area a good look, but I may have to, I had left my bag behind. I'm going to go get it because I'm finding too many over here. Be back in a bit. There's another hidden one. And two beauties right there. And I don't know if you can see it, but right there is one. So I'm going to be heading over there next. Look at that gorgeous one starting to come up. There. There's one trying to hide. There's a nice one right there. And another one right there. And there's one that looks wilted right there. Boy, this is going great. I'm not even out here 20 minutes yet. And doing pretty good. I'm super happy about this. This is, I think, my best morel hunt so far. So this one right here is completely dry. I mean, not 100% completely dry, but it's very dry. And I don't see any bugs in it, and it's still got good color. Doesn't look sickly, just looks dried up on top, so I'm going to keep it. I just found another amazing spot. Tell me when y'all can see it. Tell me when you see them. Do you see those over there on the left? Do you see those right there? Do you see the big one hiding there to the right of that charcoal log? Woo! I gotta be careful where I'm walking or I'm gonna step on one of these. Now, oh man, no way. Look at this. There was a huge one right there that dried up. Look at the base on that thing. That thing is huge. All right, I'm about to just harvest these and then show you what I get. Check that out. So awesome. Just look at the size on these. All right, so this one right here, it's really dry and I would try to keep it, but right there, that is just punky, not good. I don't know if you can see it. This one's color is a little bit, that one and that one too. The stem is just on the verge of being a little bit darker than what it should. That one a little bit too. And see, this one even, all of that material down at the bottom, that white stuff and everything, I'm going to remove it. This one had some funny stuff going on it, so I'm going to leave it behind. It's also tears real easily. These are the bases. I don't know if I've really been showing these. You can keep these. So I prefer to harvest the morels and tear these off before I put them into my sack so that it doesn't transfer the dirt to everything else. You can carry 2 sacks, carry one of these, and then transplant these in a spot where it has the same conditions, you know, pine trees, evergreens, conifers, good shade, good water, good drainage, you know, all of those, and it might, you know, if there's enough of the mycelia connections there at the bottom, grow from that. You could also keep like that one that you would otherwise discard in that same bag and just toss it on the ground and the spores will eventually come out. Anyway, let's keep hunting. Okay, so I realized I didn't say something I was going to say. So this one, it's a little bit redder, a little bit browner and everything. That one and that one. Otherwise, they have no bugs, and so I'm going to keep these. You just have to be, aware. If it is kind of squishy or wet at all, discard them. Okay? That's all I wanted to say. And the very final thing I was going to say about these that I had right here, all of them, I put my knees down once, and they were all within reach. On one of them that was right over there, I had to stretch with just one knee planted, but all the others, it was just on both knees where I just set them down once. So that was super incredible little haul. So I haven't looked up this variety, but I'm told that this variety that I'm harvesting only produces fruit in areas that have been burned. So with this variety, you can't depend on them every year. But if you know that and you have a large enough area to forage, you can pretty much find enough food every year, every other year, just from hunting and harvesting morels. I need to look up what the name of this variety is, because I know some in Michigan that do not depend on that one tore. They do not depend on fire to produce. I don't know if that's the release of like phosphorus or some type of mineral that they depend on, and whenever that gets released, then it tells them, hey, it's time. We can send up the fruit bodies. If you guys don't know anything or don't know much, sorry, I should rephrase the way I say that. If you don't know much about mycelia and how fungus and mushrooms work, see, that one's too dirty, it's dry. I'm going to go ahead and leave it behind. If you don't know how they work, you ought to spend some time, there's two right over there. You ought to spend some time doing some research, because the majority of the fungus body is in the soil. It's doing connections between the trees, the dead wood, the fallen logs, breaking them down. Fungus in a forest system do a ton of good stuff. They're very positive contributors to the forest ecosystem. And it's really neat how these guys, these fire ones, they can stay, the mycelia can live in the ground doing their thing, working between the trees, breaking down matter, and then whenever there's the right conditions, boom, they send up their fruit bodies. I lost sight of those two. Anybody? Where were they? Pretty sure they were on the other side of this log. I've spotted a couple more now, but I don't see the two that I was pointing at. So what I see now is that one and a little one right there. Okay, well, maybe did I pass them? Because there's one right there. I gotta pay more attention to my hunting and less to the camera. And there's a couple over there, so I'm gonna go round those up and come back to my onion bag. So all of these but the top left one are kind of drying out, and it sure is neat to see how these dry out, how the caps dry so much before the stem dries. There's a couple of them I saved intact for you to look at, and the meat on the stem of those two is just barely where it needs to be for me to keep them. Otherwise I would discard them as well. Awesome, let's keep hunting. Where to next? I love it when I get underneath these trees that were heated, burnt by the fire, and they have the pine needles, and the mushrooms just show up so well through these beds. Again, lots of dried ones. I wish I'd have been here 3 days ago, but I'm going to keep looking. I know that there's more fresh ones to be found. We're going to take a short break to show you a day in ant life. See if you can see the ant there on top carrying the pine needle. All of these worker ants. I'll come back to this pile. Some more ants. Trying to hide. They've been eating into this trunk, making space. Look at that little hole right there. I want one to come stick its head out. Yeah, there's one pretty close, but I don't know if it sees me or what. Ah, and there's a morel. You gotta keep your eyes open all the time. These fungi are everywhere. Oh, I'm kind of shaking this. I may disturb them. But I'm pretty sure all of these pine needles on this one, or a majority, were actually brought up by the ants. Like their own little insulation and everything. Oh, check it out. There's a cave with morels coming out of it. And that's a huge one. It's past its prime, but it's just huge. I'm getting stuck on the branches. Look at that. There's two in there. I'm just going to harvest it to show it to you. Look at that. Look at that morel. I mean, that thing would have been supreme if I'd have found it soon enough. Yeah, it's a little bit punky. I mean, I'm almost tempted to try and save it, but no, I'm gonna respect it and leave it behind. So cool. What a gorgeous morel. All right, time to keep hunting. All right, I went through a dry spell. Didn't find any for a while. I found a couple right here. I see some more. I see a small one popping up right over there. So I'm gonna give this area a look, but I think that's a good length for this video. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will come back to you with more. Have a good one.